and just punched him right in the jaw. I was feeling like Rocky. I got to look at the drunk driving arrest with my fine-tooth comb.
What was the last thing you jumped on?
The bandwagon.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today is Thursday, August 2nd, 2018. Thank you so much for tuning into today's edition of the Bandwagon, a sports podcast. Great show for you today as the one and only, and I have no better way to describe him. That is as good as I can get. The one and only BDAHT. You'll find out what that means at the end of that interview, which is, again, I'm going to forewarn you right now, that interview is not safe for work. So if you're at work or if you're in front of children, either plug in headphones or listen to this another time because, hilarious interview, but probably not something you want to listen to in public. That said, my name from Green Bay, Wisconsin is Alex Strofe. You can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strofe. Joining me from half of the country away for the first time in a little bit. His name is Victor Hensley, my right-hand man, my partner in crime. You can find Vic on Twitter at Freezeal, Frezeal33, Frezeal33 on Twitter. Mr. Victor.
Man, it's tragic you aren't here anymore.
It's tragic. It's strange. We're back to the Skyping.
You're 500 miles away or something like that. I don't know the distance.
It's only like 190. No, it's a lot more than that.
190 is way more than that. We went 72 just to Winston. So
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm still sleep deprived, man. I'm not caught up on sleep still.
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock. Yeah. You need to go like sleep somewhere for like 15 hours. Just like go hibernate for a little bit and you'll be good.
I need to, but I don't have time to do that. I'm a busy fellow.
You're
I'm
not
a busy fellow.
Right. So while you flew out on Tuesday,
yep,
right? Which you puked beside my car also, by the way.
Yeah, bad coffee that morning. Right after we got done recording,
yeah.
I just yacked it all up.
And so we had to go back to get an adapter
which wasn't in your car.
It wasn't actually there in my car. And we get there, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm going to throw up. And I'm like, what you mean you going to throw up? And you were like, it's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I thought you were faking it. You go to the other side of the car and just start throwing up. Yeah. And I'm like, at first I was like, nah, this dude's playing. And then I just kept hearing sounds. And I'm like, and I almost did it myself. Like, I didn't see it or smell it or anything, but I'm like, dude, I can't take this anymore. I'm about to start. It would have been like that scene in like Scary Movie 2 where you just like everybody's vomiting at each other and it's like a vomit fight.
Yeah. That would have been cute.
That would have been adorable. So we did not give goodbye hugs because of that.
Yes, we gave a goodbye knee bump, if I'm not mistaken.
We did knee bump, whatever the world that is.
Yes.
So we did that. And then after you flew out,
Jonathan Scope is a Brewer. Woo!
Jonathan Scope is a Brewer. So the trade deadline happened. And the MLB Trade Deadline happened. And let me just tell you my story. So I didn't want anybody on the Orioles to be traded. I wanted everyone on the Orioles to be traded except Jonathan Scope and Adam Jones. It already was pretty much clear Adam Jones was not going to be traded because he has no trade clause. So, which I'll get into that a little bit later in the show. That's a little teaser for you. But Jonathan Scope, I didn't want to be traded. He's the man. I wanted him to be around for the rebuild. I wanted us to re-sign him, get everything done. I wanted him to be the centerpiece for this team. Then at 3:30, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a little nap. I'm sleepy. I'm hoping Jonathan doesn't get traded. We'll see. I take a nap. 3:51, I wake back up. And I'm like, all right, he hasn't been traded yet. I think we might be in the clear. I wake up again at like 4:03. Bang. I look at my phone, got a notification said Jonathan Scope's been traded. I was upset. I was devastated.
Yeah, so little fun fact for you. The Brewers have both players of the week from last week. I don't know if that's ever happened, so that's cool.
He is an amazing player, so have fun with him. He's a good dude. Take care of him, please. If I hear that Milwaukee has hurt Jonathan Scope, I'm coming for blood.
Oh boy, oh boy.
He's a national treasure.
A national treasure.
He's
I like
a
that.
National treasure. Getting this Nick Cage in this biatch.
Wow.
All right.
And this biatch.
So a couple more things happened in the trade deadline. The Orioles sold about everybody, which is fine. We're going to be fine at the end of the day. We're going to be a lot farther along on this rebuild than maybe some of these other teams that are going to stay stagnant for a while.
Good word.
Yeah. $1 million word. So that happened. I'm happy for my team a little bit, I guess. Whatever. I don't really care about baseball anymore. Chris Archer went to the Pirates.
Yep.
That was a big deal. Pirates needed some arms.
They're
got one.
They're 0-1 with Chris Archer on the roster.
Technically, they are. So just go ahead and ask a question. Does that mean they're worse with Chris Archer?
Well,
they have not made the trade.
We'll find out tomorrow because he will be starting against the St. Louis Cardinals.
You're right, but I just think the aura of Chris Archer being on the team is just
he's a locker room cancer.
There
Chris Archer's a locker room cancer. Breaking news.
We'll go ahead and get those headlines started.
There we go.
What else happened? Ian Kinsler.
Ian Kinsler to the Sox that are red, not the white ones.
I gotta go ahead and hear me out. So, everybody's talking about Chris Archer. Everybody's talking about, Manny Machado to the Dodgers, Zach Britton to the Yankees, Jonathan Scope to the Brewers, whatever. All right. A bunch of pitchers went to like the Astros or people like that. Like the people, I can't even keep up with all those guys. The Twins traded about everybody. But I just can't get over the fact that my dark horse, my hot take right here, the best acquisition of the trade deadline is the Phillies got Wilson Ramos from the Tampa Bay Rays. All-star catcher Willie Ramos. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they got him.
Ramos.
And he is the Phillies are currently atop their division. I think they're leading about a half a game, something like that. And Ramos does not 100% bring things offensively, but I mean the other two catchers they have on the roster I think are probably a little bit better than him offensively. But defensively, he's a monster. He's a beast behind the plate, and that's why he's an all-star for a reason, right? So I think the Phillies only got better here at the trade deadline, and they are actually looking like a little bit dangerous of a team, Alex. And I think as a Brewers fan, you should be a little nervous if you face them in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say.
You want to know something cool about Wilson Ramos?
Sure.
His nickname is the Buffalo.
That is very
and
cool.
Also, I read something. He was abducted in 2011.
He was abducted?
In Venezuela, yeah.
I might have heard about that before.
Yeah, he was rescued two days after he was abducted, and 8 suspects were soon in custody, according to Wikipedia.
That's all. Were they trying to get money or something like that?
I don't know, but he said what they did was laugh, joke about my pain. I'm very thankful, and I feel like I've been born again. And now he's been born again on a winner. Welcome to the Phillies, Wilson Ramos.
I love it. So yeah, to me it just seemed like the MLB trade deadline was kind of like the NBA trade deadline a little bit. Like there was some bunch of stuff happening right at the deadline. Like it was pretty crazy this year.
It was not bad. Yeah, I think it shakes up the world of baseball. Go Brewers.
Nah. Go Dodgers.
Can I get a Jonathan Scope jersey?
You should.
Also, are we just officially cashing in that you lost the bet we made at the beginning of the season?
No, sir. We're not there yet.
Because for those of you just joining us, we made a bet at the beginning of the season that who would have a better record, the Orioles or the Brewers, which was, by the way, a terrible bet on your part. And the loser has to get a jersey of the opposing team with whatever the other person says they want on the back. So Victor will get a Brewers jersey with whatever I want on the back.
If I lose the bet.
Yeah, come on.
Want me to just give you a little fun fact statistic for you?
Yes.
The Orioles are 33-75.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want to know how many games back in their division they are?
A lot of them.
41.5.
They have the worst record in baseball, right?
Yes, they do.
And the Brewers have one of the best.
Yes, unfortunately they do. So technically we are we have more games. We're more games back in the division than we've actually won.
That is insanity.
So it's only going to get better from here. It can only get up from here. So
yes, the Brewers have 30 more wins than the Orioles do.
So technically, there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
I can't
So anyway,
talk about baseball anymore.
Yes. So anyway, let's move on. Go Orioles. So it's almost football season. So I want to throw something out there real quick. And NCAA football and NFL preseason. We're going to dive into that real quickly before we get to BDAHT. But I was on Sports Me yesterday. We're both wearing Sports Me shirts right now. Bad radio.
That is bad radio.
And there was a topic about the NCAA football head coach hot seat, and I made my take, and we'll get to who I said in a minute. But then about 5 minutes later, I changed my pick because Urban Meyer's on the hot seat. He's been placed on administrative leave.
Okay.
So there's that.
So we talked about this a little before the show. Is it technically the hot seat if it's because of off the field reasons?
Well, he's going to lose his job, so I'd say he's on the hot seat.
Okay. I usually don't think about that in that sense of the hot seat. You don't usually say.
I just want to
Bill
get
Belichick's going to get fired because of a drunk driving arrest or whatever.
Okay,
You know what
fair.
I'm saying?
Jim Irsay didn't, but is he going to get fired? Do you think
Yeah.
Urban Meyer's out at Ohio State?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I mean, not 100%. I mean, we obviously got to see what the investigation holds and all that stuff. But I mean, the same kind, not to the same extent, but the same kind of thing happened to Joe Paterno, obviously, where he knew about things that were going on in his program, didn't try to do anything to stop them. Same thing here with Urban Meyer. So I think
rest in peace.
To set an example, they're probably going to set him or let him go, which whatever. I'm not a big Urban Meyer guy because of the way he left Florida, and you know how I am about my Gators. But anyway, so if I'm going to talk about hot seats, right, I've got to mention Jim Harbaugh.
Yep, that was my pick.
He's 100%. He's a professional coach, in my opinion. He's not a college coach. He doesn't need to be in the NCAA. He killed it at the professional level. He did fine his first stint in college. He was great there, but he just needs to quit. He needs to go back to the NFL. And right now, I mean, he hasn't beaten Ohio State while he's been at Michigan. The couple years he's been at Michigan, they've not been really competitive since he's been there. He's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. He just doesn't need to be here. And I think they're probably going to have another middle of the pack season again this year. And I just feel like he might be gone after this year. I mean, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think that's bold. That was my pick, but I think I do think it'll be one more year. But Shea Patterson might have a very good year. He's a solid QB.
But let's say they come out and go, only get 5 wins, which they're likely not going to get only 5 wins.
Yeah, that's
but if they do.
So hold on a minute. So if Urban Meyer's out at Ohio State, Michigan's going to have their number.
Not at all. It's a coach. The players are still going to be there.
All right, fair enough. Lovie Smith is gone from Illinois. Bring him back to the league as well.
I don't care anything about Lovie Smith, Alex.
Yeah, I don't either.
Who cares?
Go Bears. Go Bears. All right, let's get to take 5 before we get to BDAHT. NFL preseason starts tonight, I think, right? With the NFL Hall of Fame game, or is that tomorrow?
Hall of Fame game is tonight, Thursday. Ravens
Yes.
Bears.
Ravens Bears. Ray Lewis versus Brian Urlacher.
Get to see a little Lamar Jackson action tonight.
Oh, I like the rhyming.
Yes, sir.
Are you fired up?
Oh, I'm very fired up. RG3 is going to be on the field too. I'm ready, dude.
All right, let's go take 5 things of the preseason, starting with you, Victor, number 5.
So this by the way, this was a tough list because I feel like the things of the preseason, they're all so fantastic. Preseason is great. But I'm going to go, my number 5 is just the simple fact that preseason overshadows baseball. Tonight especially. Nobody is going to even be worried about any of the MLB games. Everybody's going to be talking about the Hall of Fame game. It's going to be the same time for the next 4 weeks. It's going to be the same thing. People care more about preseason than they do about the MLB. Football is just such a big thing, and it upsets me, and I love it at the same time.
You're right, but my number 5 is kind of a PSA for all the NFL fans out there. I'd just like to say, you officially don't know more than half of the NFL. Congratulations.
Ain't that the truth?
There you go.
I mean, there's right now there's 100 people on every roster. So
oh yeah, about 90.
It's
I think.
insane. So my number 4 is the fact that I don't know how many preseason games you actually sit there and watch, but my number 4 is the fact that when you do watch the games, doesn't it seem like they go on for years until 2 a.m.?
Yes.
Because in the second half especially, it's just third and fourth stringers, and you're just sitting there, and it seems like the game goes so slow. But I love it because when the clock finally strikes 0 in the fourth quarter, you look at the clock real time, and it's 10 p.m. But it feels like it's 2 a.m. and it's time to go to bed.
Yes, I love it. I love it as well. My number 4 is just the simple sound of helmets crunching and shoulder pads hitting, and the groans that big men make when they get slaughtered.
Wow, that made me a little uncomfortable.
I'm sorry about that. It just needed to be said.
It did. I agree. I love the sounds of football season. Just the screams,
I do too.
The screams of the innocent.
Ah!
Yeah, like that. Number 3. My number 3 is the fact that obviously most national networks do not carry the preseason games. So it's typically just a bunch of random former athletes, or my favorite are the local guys. So you always have the one athlete that's in there, that's in the booth
Yep.
calling the game. But then there's always like Danny Johnson from Pine Bluff, Missouri, out here calling games, and it's just like it's kind of great because he'll be like, and you look at it, and it's like nobody knows who any of these people are except for the one athlete that's there, and it's fantastic because it's just like they don't really 100% know what they're doing, but they're giving it a shot anyway, and it's just like I love seeing the local guys get some love.
I love it. That's good. I'm also a big fan. So my number 3, is that where we are? Yes, we're at number 3. The preseason headline that's been stealing the headlines for like the last 3 years. Is this Andrew Luck's year that'll finally be healthy and take over the NFL as the GOAT? Is this Andrew Luck's year? Well, not so hot take. It's not Andrew Luck's year.
No, he'll be healthy probably. He doesn't have the talent, especially around him. Like
he has the talent. Yes.
Not around
him, but
no.
Yes, I'm with you.
Close. My number 2 is just a simple fact. Kind of, you talked about the sounds of football season. Mine's just football's back, baby.
Football's back, baby.
I mean, we're here. Finally, this is the first time in a long time we've gotten real football, and I'm ready for it.
I'm also ready for it. Number 2, you kind of mentioned it, but mine is number 2, random commentary teams. So you have Kevin Harlan calling the Packers preseason games. I saw like LaDainian Tomlinson, who's actually a broadcaster, will be with the Chargers booth. So you kind of mentioned the random athletes that join. I love that as well. I think it's very, very funny to hear like sometimes these guys that aren't good at all in the booth because they're former players. But then you also have like Kevin Harlan not on a national stage, which is cool.
I think I once watched a Buccaneers-Ravens preseason game, and I had to watch the Bucs broadcast, and it was like Rondé Barber in there.
Good.
And he just like he said like half the things wrong. Like there were graphics on the screen were wrong. Like everything was wrong. I'm pretty sure at some point I saw it said that somebody hit like a 87-yard field goal. It was like
really?
It was one of those game recaps, and it like shows all the scoring plays that happened. And somebody put like 87-yard field goal.
The production team just has to iron some details out.
Yes, they surely do. So my number 1 is the best thing about I've talked about this many times on the show, but it probably really comes out full force in preseason football. Is I love the overreactions. Overreactions when it's somebody like Lamar Jackson against a second, third, fourth string defense and stuff like that. If the Detroit Lions go 4-0 in the preseason, everybody's gonna be talking about it like, oh my God, they went 4-0. Like the overreactions is unreal, and it's just like almost none of this matters. The only reason preseason matters really is for the bubble guys that aren't really ever going to play anyway, like the third stringers. But like,
you're darn right.
You don't need to judge Aaron Rodgers' first, possession against the.
He only plays one possession.
Yeah, and it's just
that's all he'll play.
It doesn't matter. But yeah,
exactly.
So I love
I'm
some
with you.
overreactions.
I'm with you. My number 1 is cool last names. So I mentioned the random players, and my number 5, cool last names, because the guys that probably most likely for most of them won't even make the roster, but they represent cool jerseys. So I have a good little story here. At Lids 2 seasons ago, the Packers had a fullback named Alstavis Squirrelwell who came into Lids all the time, and I thought that was the coolest name. And there's so many different cool names on different rosters. So like I'll be watching, and I've always done this. Whenever I'm at a sports game, I'm like, that's a cool name. So I'll be watching a preseason game this year, and I'll hear a name, and I'll be like, oh my God, that's awesome. I want that jersey.
I think we need to do real or fake NFL preseason names.
I'm down. The next week for sure.
Let's do it. So yeah, there you
go.
All right. Preseason is back. Football's back. Let's get it.
Who is the best Hall of Fame inductee this evening?
Really?
The answer is Jerry Kramer.
The answer is Ray Lewis, hands down. Best defensive player of all time. So
shout out to Jerry Kramer.
Nobody cares about Jerry Kramer.
What's that?
Nobody cares about Jerry Kramer.
That's not true. Packers fans love him.
Nobody does.
Get out of my face.
Sorry.
Let's move on to our amazing interview with BDAHT. The dude is hilarious. So at this point, once again, not safe for work. I should preempt this a little bit. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but there is a few swear words and some not derogatory necessarily, but I'm gonna sign up for blackpeoplemeet.com. Here's BDAHT.
Please do not watch this, listen to this at work, and get fired because of us. That's really all I want you to say.
We are joined now by 102 JAMZ morning show host.
Is that your radio voice?
That's my radio voice.
What?
Does that work for you?
It was crazy.
It just flips switch.
Yeah, like you were just talking to me, like, yeah, we're just gonna go on a ride. Good morning. How's everyone feel? Like, yo, same dude, different body.
I'm coming for your job. So we are joined by BDAHT now. He's the morning host of 3 Live Crew here in Greensboro, which is where we are, just in a big old building, big studio. You've seen him on shows like Wild and Out, Catfish on MTV. He's everywhere. You do so much, and we'll get into that. So BDAHT, thanks for taking the time to join us, man. We really appreciate it.
No, man, thanks for having me on the bandwagon, man. This is dope. Guys hit me up and said you were interested in talking. I love talking, so I said, let's get this thing cracking, baby. I'm with it.
That's what you do for a living, so I assume you like doing it. So
Absolutely.
I guess let's start. You've been up since 5 a.m. It's a what? It's 12
It's
o'clock
noon.
here?
Yeah, we're right at noon.
So,
Well, I've been up since 4, but I've been at work since 5.
so what the hell goes on in a normal day for BDAHT?
Man,
Is there ever a normal day for you?
No. Every day is different. You know what I mean? But every day usually starts around 4:30. I get to work around 5:30. I usually leave the building around noon, 1 o'clock. But I have so many different ventures, man. Like I do stand-up comedy. I do my speed dieting on Wednesday nights. I do trap aerobics on Tuesdays. I work out. I'm the father of 2. I'm a husband. So there's a lot of different hats that I wear.
That's good.
So I stay busy and I get pulled in a lot of different directions. So it's cool.
And not only that, but you travel everywhere. I always see you. You're everywhere.
I try to be,
it's
man.
crazy.
This past weekend, I was actually up in Raleigh performing with Lil Duval. He was in town,
Sure.
so he called me up, and I knocked out about 4 or 5 shows with him. I try to do a lot. I try to get around, especially in North Carolina, but all over the country, man. Like I've been fortunate with stuff like Wild and Out and stuff that I get mentioned and noticed nationally, so I get to go and make a couple coins in other states. I'm trying to get to Wisconsin, though. I told you I want to get to Green Bay. Like Green Bay is on my bucket list.
If you ever get there, you hit me up.
Is there
We'll make something
always
happen.
snow in Green Bay?
About 7 months a year
you
out of the year.
serious?
Yeah, that's why I like it here because it's
Yeah.
like warm. Although we had that monsoon come yesterday, whatever the hell that was.
Yeah,
but
that's North Carolina weather for you.
Yeah,
it's
like
all right.
you have to put your
I like the warmth more than I like the snow. I mean, the highest it's getting right now in Wisconsin. I know everybody really cares about this, but like 65, 70 degrees.
That's the high.
Yeah, that's a high. So
Yeah, right.
it's no fun. So, but anyway,
sorry.
you mentioned, I mean, all these different things you do. You mentioned what you do with MTV. I want to know how you got into that. How did you make connections over there? And you mentioned Lil Duval. He's another personality we see on the television, on the radio a lot. How do these connections come about? Is it just you being you and it happened, or what?
A lot of it, man. Just sticking to me being me. Like I graduated from HBCU, Historically Black College and University, Winston-Salem State University, which is right up the road, right there. Y'all were at Winston-Salem at Wake Forest the other day. So yeah, like that's where I graduated. That's where I honed my skills. That's where I became BDAHT. Like I went there as Brian, but after I've always been entertaining. I was the class clown, got kicked out of class, ISS, stuck in the hall.
I feel that. That was me.
Like, that was me. You know what I mean? Like, so I never knew, though, at those times that I was honing those skills of controlling crowds and being a people person. I never knew that. So when I went to college, wherever there was a microphone, I just wanted to be present with the microphone. And if there were people that needed to be entertained, I wanted to entertain them. And from that journey in college, like people started to just respect what I did, and I started to get a lot of confidence. And then I came to the radio station to do an internship, and I really just needed to graduate, so I needed to do some intern hours, and they were looking for somebody funny on their morning show. And I just happened to fit the bill, and they asked me would I be interested in being an intern on the morning show. And I was like, yeah, what do you need? It was like, well, we need you to be here every morning at 5 a.m. And I was like, I'll be damned. Like, I'm not going to be at 5 a.m.? Yeah, right. No way. That's not happening. But one of my good friends, Carlos, he was up here and he was like, mornings is a goal for a lot of people, morning radio. Like, so if you have an opportunity, you should really take advantage of it. And lo and behold, man, 14 years later, man, I started that. That was in 2004. Wow. And 10 years I was a funny man on the morning show. And the last 4 years, I've been blessed enough to have my own morning show with the 3 Live Crew. But from in that 14-year tenure, I've just met a lot of people, man. A lot of people come through here. I've done a lot of auditions. I've bombed a lot of auditions. I've done well on auditions. And Wild and Out was just happened to be one of the auditions that I bombed first. And then I went back the second year and auditioned again, and then it worked out for me.
So I got to go back to the start of the morning show because you had to grow up quick. I mean, I'm sure it went from like Saturday or Sunday nights, watching football or whatever. You're probably hungover at 5 a.m.
Absolutely.
on Monday morning. So was that a weird transition? Going
it was horrible.
Waking up 4 a.m. every Monday morning.
Like you gotta understand, I was in college, so.
That's always a party.
Yeah, like that's bedtime is 4 a.m. in college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, so them telling me that I have to be up and be at work at 5, I'm like, no way. Like, and honestly, the night guy, his name was Waleed Coyote, and he was interested in me being on his show. And his show just seemed so fun. He had strippers on, and he had weed men on, and we'd be talking about weed. So it was just so I was like, yo, that's my kind of party, guys. And I was like, I don't want to do this waking up in the morning stuff, but I just took the words of my friend Los, man. Like he was here, and I really respected him, man. Like, so it's just a gym, and just always, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you always need to have someone that you can go and help you make decisions. And he was a gentleman like that for me, and it was the best decision I ever made. Real talk.
And I've lived in the Triad for my entire life, so I've listened to you guys every morning for a long time and everything. So there's so many like cool nicknames that come through here. There's Osama bin Drinking.
That one's great.
Waleed Coyote, people like that. What is the best nickname that you've seen while you've been at 102?
I don't know. Buster Brown always sticks in my head just because like he's a legend in this area. Drinkins is definitely a great name.
Yeah.
Osama bin Drinkins. I mean, like I love the 5-foot phenomenon with Kyle Santilli.
Okay,
I love that. I love Showdown, Your Baby Daddy. I love that ridiculousness. Waleed Coyote was funny because when I finally met him, I just didn't think he looked like that. Like I didn't know he was an Indian guy. I'm just saying like he's got to be black. You know, it's like he uses the vernacular. He talks just like he sounds. The slang is there. Like everything you meet him, you're like, what? You're Arabic? What is going on? So his name mixed with his nationality was super, super dope.
Right.
But I don't know, man. Like it's just a bunch of legends here, man. Like it's just dope to be part of this whole. You know what I mean? Like from the legends of the Mad Hatters and the Horse Rainies and the J Flex, the Capital J's, to now having my own tenure. You know, like the Tap Money era, and now with it just being my era, like it just feels good, man. Like I grew up listening to this. You know what I mean? Like I went to Grimsley High School. You know what I mean? So like growing up in this area to be able to be a voice on 102 JAMZ, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like you can't I couldn't have scripted this together. Like I didn't go to school saying I want to do morning radio in Greensboro one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to entertain people, and luckily I get to do that every morning.
And moving from that to like the national things you've been involved with. I mean, like we've mentioned, you've been on Wild and Out, Catfish, Hood Adjacent on Comedy Central.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Like you get around for sure.
I'm working.
So I got to know about Wild and Out for sure. Like you've been on there for what, 3 seasons? I think?
Yeah, I did 3 seasons.
And it's just, how much fun?
It's a great experience. Like I honestly, the thing about Wild and Out is I haven't been on Wild and Out for the past 3 seasons. But the 3 seasons that I was on, I made such a presence, and I had so many memorable moments on key episodes that they always show the reruns. So people always say, I saw you on Wild and Out. I haven't been on Wild and Out in so long, but I'm super grateful for that platform. Like Nick Cannon is super, super smart. Like he's super smart. Like he knows how to just find talent and just like, you know, give them a platform so that he inevitably wins. You know what I mean? Like it's the same process with it now. Like, but all those guys are my guys, like Chico and Brand, like those are my brothers. Like Chico, Brand, and Drankins, who's on my morning show. We do a comedy show together, which is the Freestyle Funny comedy show. The 4 of us, where we do stand-up and improv. And that show was started so that we could get to television. So now that all of us are successful in our own rights and on different media platforms, it's just dope. But the Bow Wow episode on Wild and Out was my big claim to fame moment on Wild and Out. That was my very first episode, the very first joke I ever did. And I tell everybody I have to thank Timothy Delgado for it, because Tim and I had the exact same joke. And the question was, we were going to ask, Reverend Run's daughter. No, Bow Wow. We're going to ask Bow Wow who gave the best fellatio, Reverend Run's daughter or Sierra.
Yeah,
that was the question. And I had told Conceited. And Conceited was like, yo, you and Tim got the same joke. Y'all need to talk. And I'm like, yo. So I'm like, Tim, like, let me get the joke. Because Tim was like a 3-year vet at this time. This was my rookie year. I'm like, Tim, let me get the joke. He was like, we can paper, rock, scissors for it. And I'm like, all right. So we paper, rock, scissors, and I lose. And I'm like, oh, man. And, like, he could just see the life sucked out of my body, right? And he was just like, it's all right, man. You can have a joke. And I'm like, are you serious? He was like, you can have it, dude. And I'm like, thank you, man. I went out there and I got the joke and it killed. It got a great reaction. So, like, to this day, whenever Tim sees me, he's like, you know you owe me for that joke. I know, Tim. Timothy Delgado, if you're listening, I know you're listening to the Bandwagon right now. Let me tell you, I know I owe you, Tim.
Well, the thing is, we hope he's listening. Because I got another question for you.
What's that?
There's 2 things we love on the show, right? It's confident answers and starting rivalries.
Yes.
All right? So you mentioned, Chico. You mentioned Timothy Delgado. Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
I got to know, man, are you the funniest guy to ever appear on Wild and Out?
I am one of the most witty guys to ever be on Wild and Out.
Okay.
My funny is a lot different. You know what I mean? Like Chico Bean's funny is just Like Chico Bean's funny and Carlos Miller's funny are two totally different funny, but they are two of the funniest dudes. And DC Young Fly and Emmanuel. Like I really love Emmanuel Hudson. Like he's one of my favorites. You understand? Like
I said that as well.
and he's got that dry humor that is so ridiculous. Like he's such a jerk, but it's hilarious to me. Like so, like everybody has their own thing which makes them funny. Like Darren Brand, he's got a bunch of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes you just need that big bubbly energy in the room. You know what I mean? Like, so I would not give myself title of funniest. I will say I'm the most witty. I will say I'm the most witty.
Okay.
Like my word play with jokes. Like the chick with I asked her, like I told her I wanted to get her a sweatshirt, but I heard she gave a crew neck. You know what I mean? Like play on words and stuff. Like that's my bag. Like that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Is it too easy to make fun of Nick Cannon sometimes?
No, actually, it's very, very difficult to make fun of Nick Cannon because everybody's used all the jokes.
No, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not successful in his music career.
We know that already.
That,
so
right?
now what?
Mariah Carey left him. So it's all been used.
But have you ever had someone as hot as Mariah Carey?
No.
So
exactly.
you can't even
right.
joke about it. He's super, super rich. He's super successful. He's Mr. Cash a Check. So like, okay, he doesn't make good rap music. Once you get past that, then what? The dude is physically fit. He can bag any chick that you masturbate to. Like I don't know if I can say that. I'm sorry.
You can say whatever you want.
I don't know if I
man.
can say
Yeah.
that. But he can he's freaking Nick Cannon. You understand? Like so it's like it's very difficult to come up with jokes on him actually.
Are you offended he doesn't follow you on Instagram or Twitter? We were digging. Did you even know that?
I didn't know that. I thought he followed me on Twitter. Does he not follow me on Twitter? He followed me at one point. Did he
Then
unfollow
maybe
me?
he does. Maybe I missed it, but I know he definitely doesn't follow you.
I'm
on
gonna check
Instagram.
right
I know
now.
he doesn't follow me.
I'm gonna check right
I
now.
know he doesn't follow me on Instagram. But so what, man? Screw you, Nick. Your blue check having ass.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted some smoke,
Yeah.
didn't you?
That's,
You
we
wanted-
said we like rivalries.
We want to make headlines on this show. That's
I
what we're here
see.
for.
No, man, I don't worry about that, man. Like I'm in the process of trying to get my followers up though. So you can definitely, if Nick doesn't follow me, but if you're listening to the
Plug
Bandwagon,
the social medias.
you can follow me. It's BDAHT, BDAHT TV on Instagram, on all social media, man. BDAHT, follow me on there, and have a great time.
So, Catfish, I want to dive into that a little bit. That's a whole other bag of tricks, whole other
Yeah, yeah.
ball game with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Max. Talk to me about, the appearances you made on there. That's a fun show. That's one of my favorite shows. I think
Yeah.
it's always so interesting because
Yeah.
people are crazy.
I'm
Absolutely.
still shocked that people get catfished, bro.
I know.
Like
At this point
how?
in time,
It's
right?
2018,
I've
bro.
had fake profiles made of me. I'm sure it's happened to you.
Hold on, wait. Now you're looking. Does Nick follow me?
I have no service in this building.
Oh,
This
okay.
building's
Yeah, I didn't
terrible.
give you the password. Yeah, it's horrible in here. It's crazy. It's a radio station where you don't have a signal. It's a piece
I
of
gotta know. I gotta know the Wi-Fi password.
I'm gonna find out. I'll find out before we get off of this podcast.
Yeah,
I'll find out if
all
Nick
right,
Cannon
nice.
follows me. And if he
All right.
doesn't, I'm gonna send him a message about it. The Catfish. Catfish was dope because I was in LA just finishing up with Wild and Out, and my manager had got an email. They had found me on LinkedIn. Like I didn't even know that
boy.
people worked on LinkedIn like that. And she was like, "Yo, are you still in LA? We want to bring you out to do a recap episode on Catfish." And I'm like, "Absolutely." So they sent me a couple of slides of what we were going to be possibly talking about, and I just went in there, man, and I was just sitting in there. And they just had a computer in front of me and just let me talk as much crap as I wanted to talk about these clips. And it was amazing, bro. Like, I had a great time. Like, it was my first time ever doing something like that. And it was so fun. And then, like, the next year, they called me back to do another one.
Yeah.
So I did a recap of a recap, and it was super amazing. So I'm waiting for them to hit me back. I would love to be an assistant, a guest host with Neve and Max. I would love to. Like, it would be awesome.
Neve or Max?
Oh no.
If one has to get fired or I have to
Yeah,
save
if you have
one,
to replace one and you can only work alongside one of them, who's it going to be?
I got to work beside Neve.
Because he's the classic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The movie was made after him.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to Max, I hope.
No disrespect to Max. I love Max. I like what he's done with his great thing. But see, with me and Neve on
That's
there,
what I was
like,
gonna say. His
But
hair
the
is
chest,
nice.
but
Yeah.
the chest hair with Neve, doesn't that bug
yeah,
you?
but he just got to wear a turtleneck.
Yeah.
If he just keeps a turtleneck on, no matter the weather, then we're perfectly fine. And the women love Neve, even though he's married. The women love him. So we could just get on there and just be like sex symbols.
Ooh.
Yeah,
He's like a sexy catfish.
Yeah,
Okay,
sexy
I like it.
Self-proclaimed sex symbol. I like it.
Self-proclaimed, super self-proclaimed. And as a matter of fact, you brought up you had gotten catfish. Someone had used my pictures. First of all, I'm not even attractive enough for you to use my
No,
pictures.
that's what happened to me.
Like-
Somebody used my picture.
Like, what are you doing?
Jackson Cooper. I think I have a picture of it.
Really?
He named himself Jackson Cooper, so it's not Alex Stroh.
That is awesome.
But he only had he had like 15 friends, and some girl I had never talked to from 3 towns over sends
yeah.
me a screenshot. She's like, "Yo, I know I don't know you,
Yeah.
but this is you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell
Yeah.
is this?"
That's what happened to
Jackson
me.
Cooper. That's such a fake name.
I didn't even see the dude's name. He was on Plenty of Fish. Legit, he was on Plenty of Fish. And I was
That's
like,
not even
yo,
Tinder, so you're not going to get far on there.
I'm like, yo, if my wife would have saw you on Plenty of Fish, she'd have freaking went crazy. But then I'd have went crazy. Like, what the hell are you doing on Plenty of Fish? You know what I'm saying?
It's like the 10th most used dating app.
I see. The thing is, I didn't even know it existed until just right now.
What, Plenty of Fish?
Yes.
Really?
What is
It's
it? What is this
people
thing?
over
It's like
40, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Tinder. It's like a Tinder joint. It's like I don't know.
Tinder for old people, kind of like Match, but it's free. I don't know why I know so much about
I'm about to
this.
say, oh, wait a minute, Alex. How do you know so much about this Plenty of Fish?
I'm actually a big FarmersOnly.com kind of
That's your
guy,
thing?
so that's my
See,
big
I'm really
thing.
about
Yeah.
Christian Mingle. That's about the you can find me on Christian Mingle. Repent69.
I fit the bill for black people meat, right?
Yeah, you do. That's hot. Now that's catfish.
I'm gonna tell a story real quick. I was like 9 years old or something like that, and me and my friends were like, "Hey, let's make a fake Facebook
Oh,
page."
you are
real
the
quick.
worst.
There you go.
I don't know why I did it, man. I just took some. I got a picture of some random like kind of chubby kid from like Arkansas.
Yeah.
It was like in his football jersey. I had
Yeah.
like one picture, and I just made a Facebook page and added like 500 people, and people like still wish him happy birthday.
Are
and
you
stuff like that.
serious?
He doesn't exist. His name's Jeffrey Rockwell. If you want to hit him up.
I'm gonna hit up Jeffrey Rockwell. It's ridiculous.
Wow, I shouldn't have told that story. Anyway,
That's ridiculous. And it's
so-
fraud.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeffrey.
And it's fraud.
so you have a lot of high profile friends, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I gotta ask right
Just
now,
kinda.
who's the biggest celebrity in your phone right now?
Probably Chris Paul.
Can you give him a
CP3?
Give him a call real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Let's give him a call.
Give him a call.
Oh, he's actually going to do it.
What am I gonna say to him?
Whatever you want to say.
Tell him to give a shout out to the Bandwagon
That would make my life.
and ask him how far the Rockets are going to go this year. We are a sports podcast.
Oh, I forgot we have to talk about sports at least a little bit on this.
A little bit on here.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
He's not going to answer, is he?
Who, Chris?
Yeah.
We'll see. Depends on what time zone he's in.
I feel like he's gonna pick up like first ring. He seems like a nice guy that just like.
Oh no, he's my brother.
Yeah, what up?
What up, Chris?
Hey, man, what's happening?
All right, so listen, I'm doing a podcast right now, and I apologize, but they asked me who was the most famous person in my phone. So of course I said it was Chris. So they told me to call you. So I'm just calling you to say. I'm just calling you to say hello, Chris. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, good thing I answered the phone, right?
It was a good thing, Chris. You made me look super, super cool, Chris.
Right.
Hey, Chris, you're making this guy look way too important right now, just so you're aware.
Hey, what time zone you in, bro? When are you coming back to North Carolina? I got something for you.
I'm in L.A. We about to pull up to the State Farm commercial.
Fat. When you coming back? When you gonna be back in North Carolina?
My camp start on Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday.
Oh, that's a bet. Zay's birthday Thursday, so I'll definitely bring him through, bro.
Yeah, I'm there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Absolutely. I'll definitely link up with you.
How far are the Rockets getting this year?
All right.
Hey, wait, one question from my guy. This is a sports podcast. He said, how far are the Rockets going this year, Chris?
We gonna see.
We're going to see.
We gotta see.
I don't like that
That's a PC answer from.
He's not a prophet, though. He's just a basketball player. He's not a prophet.
Oh my
That's a PC answer
You
from
know-
CP.
You know what his goal is every year?
I want to hear him say they're going to dominate. He's going to dominate Steph Curry. I want to see this
You'll never
happen.
hear it.
We
You'll
like
never hear
bold answers and
never hear
start
it.
rivalries.
Confident
You'll
answer.
never hear
He's too humble for me. I don't like it.
Play one way
What's one way, Chris? How you play?
to win. That's the only way.
Okay.
I like
okay.
it.
Dub.
I like
So
it.
Get the dub. Hey, man, hit me up, man. I appreciate you, Chris.
All right, bet.
Thanks, Chris.
That
That was interesting.
okay. Okay.
We believe you now.
I mean, I'm a man of my
You
word.
look way too important now.
I mean, no, like that's like legit though. Like we're from the same area. Like
Right.
he's probably gonna fuss at me like crap later. Like, yo, I answered your phone call. Next time I'm gonna damn send you the voice.
Next time I'm denying you on the
Yeah.
first.
We
Right.
just broke up your friendship.
Yeah, you did. You just
yeah.
ruined it. Thanks a
It's-
lot.
it's
You
all
just
right, man.
revoked all my Houston.
So I guess
game
why
tickets.
we're talking basketball, Greensboro Swarm, you're the in-game talent, I believe is your title,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me about that gig. That's got to be pretty fun.
Yeah. I prefer to call myself the heartbeat.
Of North Carolina overall. is what I've heard.
Absolutely.
Okay,
but
yeah, yeah.
definitely of the swarm too. Like when you come in there, man, like I just try to make sure that it's a great time. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're right.
from the kids to the janitors to the ticket takers to the like everybody, concessions. Like I get in there early enough to I walk around and shake hands with everybody and you know what I'm saying, and what's happening and speak to all, like legit. I speak to everybody in the arena
good.
before anybody
Right.
comes in. and just to make sure everybody's in good spirits, man. And then I go out there during the game, man, and just try to make sure that win or lose, the people that bought tickets to come, man, like they're having a good time. Like that's the most important thing to me. But I have a history with that. Like I was the announcer for Winston-Salem State for a decade. You know what I mean? Like from 2004 to 2014. Then, had a couple of situations where I was split from Winston-Salem State, but I had a great time doing that. That was one of the highlights of my life.
Well, I read an article that said, there was a year the football team went 1-12, but people still went to the games for you.
Absolutely. Like legit. Like, because we had such a great time. Like, we're in there doing the wave, bro. Like, we're in there. Like, I'm serious, man. Like sometimes the team's getting splashed 49-0. Right. And there's still people there in the third and fourth quarter doing the wave and doing chants.
You seem like a guy that would, absolutely ridicule anybody that did the wave. Like, you just feel like that guy that's like, the wave, really?
Nah, because I love things where we're all on the same page.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it when we all sing the national anthem to start a game. Like, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I like at a basketball game, like, where everybody's standing on their feet for the jump ball. You know what I mean? Like, I like things like that. Get everybody on the same page. So now the wave is one of my favorite things because we used to freak it where you would do the wave around, but then they would send it back.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it would join the home team and the away team. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a great time. Man.
Right.
Like, I always love doing stuff like that. Like, honestly, like, doing that for the Panthers or for the Hornets, like, that's bucket list. Like, I would love to do that kind of stuff. Like, absolutely.
What the hell's trap aerobics? I got to ask.
Trap aerobics is off the chain. First of all, are you familiar with trap music?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so trap music meets aerobics. It's simple. I have these two of my good friends. They're the Mitchell twins. Yep. And they're not only gorgeous, but they're super, 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 super engulfed fully in living well and great lifestyles, eating and stuff like that. So they lead the aerobics, and they're up on stage doing the aerobics, and you're punching and you're dropping and you're kicking, but it's all to trap music. So you're hearing Jeezy playing and Gucci Mane playing and Migos, and it's just off the chain. So the music, like you listen to the music and you're in your zone with the trap music, but you're doing the aerobics, and it's trap aerobics, and it's freaking amazing.
Do you wear
for an hour?
You wear like a headband and like the little sweatbands and stuff like
No.
that?
I do that for promo. For promo, I have this character called Captain Camel Toe, right?
Okay.
And
Captain Camel Toe.
Yeah.
That's creative.
Yeah. What happened was, I'm giving you guys a lot of information here.
I love it.
What happened was when we went for promos, I had went and got this horrible outfit. It was a leotard and it was freaking wrestling tights and all kinds of stuff, and it totally erased my crotch region. Like, there was no print, no show, no nothing, right? So the guy taking
You have no shame.
No shame. So the guy taking the pictures, he's like put a sock there or something, bro. Like, you just don't have nothing there. It's like a camel toe. So I just jump into character of, oh, it's Captain Camel Toe. Yeah, brother, and I want you to come to Trap Aerobics. Because when you come to Trap Aerobics with the Mitchell twins, it's going to be amazing, brother. You're going to do dips, you're going to do lunges, and you're going to love it, brother. I'll be there, Captain Camel Toe, and the Mitchell twins. Oh, yeah, brother. And
I love how you brought this like Hulk Hogan type thing to it.
Dude, I loved wrestling in the 90s, dude. Like the Macho Mans and the NWO and that. Oh my God.
So I'm a big wrestling guy. Victor always gives me shit for it.
Man.
I'm not.
Who's the greatest of all time?
The greatest of all time has got to be The Rock.
Okay.
I got to go with The Rock just because.
I think he's a Mount Rushmore guy. I'd go Flair. I'd go Flair.
And I would not argue that.
Okay.
I would not argue that. Flair was amazing.
Right.
But you got to put Hogan up there too if you're doing a Mount Rushmore. Like, just of what they brought to wrestling. Like, WWF was nothing until the Hulkamania started ripping.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
When Captain Aerobics or whatever was running wild.
Captain
Camel Toe.
Yes. What are you gonna do, brother?
Yeah.
Can I throw in the Undertaker in that?
You could probably make a case. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold,
Triple H,
John Cena.
Yes.
This we could go on for days. This isn't like a clear cut, Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi conversation.
Right,
this is a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So also, not only with trap aerobics and everything, but we talked about just social medias earlier. Speed dotting.
Yeah.
What's going on with this? Because I'm trying to figure it out. I got to know how this come to be. What is it? What's going on?
I have a lot of attractive female friends that are single.
I like that he's honest.
But they are
humble.
gorgeous.
Right.
They're gorgeous and they're single, and I don't know why. And I asked all of them, like, why are y'all single? And they just always, I don't know. There's no good guys out here.
Are they crazy?
I believe so.
Okay.
But I believe all women have a little bit of crazy in them. But that's neither here nor there. So I was like, all right, so I want to talk to a couple of you all on my social media on a Wednesday night, a random Wednesday night. It was like 8:30, and I was like, yo, let me just talk to y'all on my Instagram. And they were like, all right, they were with it. So it started with me just on my phone, guys, in my living room, talking to like 6 of my homegirls on Instagram. Like I would just talk to one. I was like, all right, so why are you single? When was your last relationship? Well, how old are you? Do you have kids? Like, what do you? So after I got done with that, like people were in my DMs like, yo, you got to bring that back. Like, that was cool. And Shorty was fine and da-da-da-da. And then the chicks were like, well, why don't you find no dudes? Da-da-da-da. So I was like, all right, I'm going to bring it back next week. And the next week I had like 4 dudes and 4 girls.
Oh,
and I did the same type process. And I was just talking to them for like 2-3 minutes and get them out of here. 2-3 minutes. And it was just speed dating with BDAHT. And one of my homies, Deron One, he was like, yo, man, you should call it speed dating. I was like, dang, that's genius.
Clever. That's clever, yeah.
Nice.
I like that speed dot. And then my friend Caben, he came up and he was like, man, you got to make it big. It can't just be you in the living room on your phone. Like, you need to get a backdrop. You need to, like, make it a production.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you right, yo. Like, and so that was like 7 weeks ago. Like, this week coming up is going to be our 9th week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, this Wednesday coming up is our 9th week consistently doing it, man. And then on next week, I'm actually doing a live version.
Ooh.
But the idea is honestly just trying to see if I can hook people up, man. But having fun doing it. You know, like speed dating, you go and you're talking to da-da-da. Well, this is like the speed is fast because I'm only talking to you for 2 minutes, then you're out of here. And if they're interested, they can slide in your DMs. And honestly, from my very first episode, a guy and a chick hooked up, and they've been together ever since.
I was just about to ask that because we see The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and they never last. So I was going to ask if you have any successes under your belt.
I do have a success, man. They're 7-8 weeks strong, and on the
That's
live
like 2 months.
version, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and meeting off my show. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
That's got to make you feel good.
It does.
You better be given, if they get married, and I know that's premature, but
Yeah.
you better be given like a good speech, you the
Absolutely.
MC, DJ, whatever.
Absolutely.
You've got to be the godfather of their kids or
Absolutely
something like
not.
that.
That's entirely too much responsibility. I've got my own mouths to feed, bro. I'm not trying to add to that plate.
I like how smooth that was. Absolutely not. Yeah.
That's super cool. So on my live version, which is August 8th, at 1:17, if anybody's in the area and is listening, it's at 8 o'clock, and they're gonna be there though, just as like a testimony to look what happens when you get on speed dial. You might find the love of your life.
That's awesome.
It's kind of dope.
Okay.
So it's just another fun thing I like to do, man. Like I just like to reinvent myself as much as possible on as many platforms as possible, but where I can just be entertaining. Like if it's sports, if it's stand up, if it's television, if it's radio, if it's social media, like wherever, man. Like I just want to have my presence there and just to have a good time.
Right,
for sure.
And to go along with the whole Nick Cannon not following me on Twitter thing, which we got to figure that out.
You're exactly right.
I noticed that people like Bryce Johnson follow you, Jawad Williams from Carolina, a lot of Carolina basketball.
All my Tar
players
Heel
follow you.
guys, absolutely.
So, I know you're a huge Carolina fan. I saw you at the national championship celebration a couple years ago. So, have you talked to any of those guys like while they're on the team? Like, do you have any connection with Carolina at all?
Well, with the guys, like not necessarily with the institution, because I have been trying for the last however many years. Boom. Hold on. What does that say right there?
I think that says follows you.
What does that say?
Follows you. I was wrong.
Who follows me? Who?
Nick Cannon follows
Okay,
you.
thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you, Nick.
Mariah Carey's ex-husband.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick, for not making me look like a jerk. I'm 2 for 2. That's Nick and Chris. Huh?
Okay, I guess now you're officially
We're coming
important.
back. We're coming back. He earned a second interview.
All right, whatever.
No, but I got I don't know, man. Like, I'm just a huge Tar Heel fan.
Right.
Like, I'm just a huge Tar Heel fan. So, like, I'm always repping the guys. And I've had the pleasure of a couple of my friends actually playing for the team, like Will Graves, PJ Harrison, Theo Pinson. Like, these are my friends. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when they go and it's like, yo, Theo, can I come to a game? It's like, absolutely. Like, when they were in Brooklyn for the ACC tournament, I flew up there and luckily saw them beat Duke, and it was an amazing feeling. Roxy, who was just in here, me, her, and her husband, and another one of my friends, the 3 of them were Duke fans.
Oh, boy.
And me, the Tar Heel fan.
Right.
Oh, my God, it was the most exhilarating experience. Oh, my God. I didn't even have to talk trash. I just kept looking at them, just smiling, and they were so sick. I'm talking about vomit sick, guys. It was amazing. But so from there, like, I have relationships like Ray Felton. He was a friend of mine when he played. Like, I went to college with his cousin. Huh?
Go Thunder.
Go Thunder. Yeah, you're a Thunder fan?
I am.
Oh, from Seattle. Well, wait.
I'm from Green Bay. This is a long story. I grew up.
Hold on. Break. Commercial break. Yeah, because I want to hear this.
So it's kind of frowned upon because I grew up in Green Bay. The Bucks were terrible.
Okay.
But when I was a little kid, I was a big fan of Sonic, like the
Hedgehog.
cartoon character. There's a team named the Sonics. I
Okay.
thought that was cool.
Okay.
I liked Kevin Durant at Texas. Watched him move. I now hate Kevin Durant. We talk about that all the time.
Do
on the show.
you?
He's
Oh,
a
he
snake.
loathes Kevin
He's a
Durant. It's
snake.
bad.
Really?
He's
Yeah.
a snake.
He's a snake?
I'll get
he's
there
a
in a
snake.
second. We
Oh,
can talk
gosh,
that shit.
okay.
But
Snake?
so the Sonics moved from Seattle to
Yeah,
Oklahoma
yeah.
City. Obviously, I followed them there, which is totally frowned upon if you're from Seattle, but I'm not, so I let it slide.
Really?
That's
That's frowned upon too?
Yeah,
I
because
guess it's like you with the
The
Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, right.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So when they moved to Oklahoma City, I still followed them. Russell Westbrook is the best point guard in the NBA. Come at me. So yeah, there you go.
I mean, Chris Paul is the best point guard in the NBA. We know
Oh yeah,
that.
I guess
But
I
now-
can't disrespect a guy that was
Yeah, you're
literally
right.
on this
on your
program 10
show,
minutes ago.
absolutely,
Right, okay.
absolutely. Not even 10 minutes ago. You're already.
Russell Westbrook is the second best point
There
guard in the
we
NBA.
go. I like the way the
But-
truth's
okay.
coming out.
But CP3 and Russ are both better than Steph.
The problem with this
Absolutely.
guy, the problem with this guy is he claims he's a Thunder fan and everything.
Yeah.
But he also heavily pulls for the Bucks, and it's like
Why
you
wouldn't I?
can't be
Why
too.
wouldn't I?
You can't.
Well, he's
do-
from there though. So
That's two teams. You
Yeah,
can't do that.
I-
Do you say? I mean, so
I
obviously you know
pull-
the Rams, but you pull for the Cowboys. You probably pull for the Panthers too, because you live.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't
Like,
want, but you know, but okay, if the Cowboys and Panthers played each other, who are you pulling for?
I'm
The
pulling
Cowboys.
For the Thunder. I'm pulling for
Are
the
you
Thunder.
though?
It's Thunder Bucks. Yeah.
yeah. Like I
But if
I
the
root
Thunder
for.
or if the Bucks won, I wouldn't be like, oh
Okay,
shit.
okay.
that's terrible.
I'm a Hornets fan. But wherever Chris plays, I root for him. And, like, I got other friends in the league, so I root for them, too. Like, when Josh Howard was playing for the Mavericks, I love the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when my friends play for certain teams, like, I got to root for the shitty Dolphins. My friend William Hayes plays for the Dolphins. I got to root for them. I know they're not going to beat the Patriots.
I just saw a power ranking that had them at 32nd in the league.
That's
Thank
bad.
you.
That's not good.
That's not good.
At
And,
all.
like, him and Rob Quinn, like, those are two of my good friends. And, like, I got to root for them, and they're going to suck it up all season. Edit this part out. No, I'm joking.
They're not gonna suck. They're gonna be like MVPs.
Yeah, they're gonna be
but
great.
everybody else is
Exactly.
gonna suck. Yeah.
Personally great. Team wise, not so great.
Exactly. You
So
can put them on your fantasy.
We're
but
way
not your
over the
team.
20 minutes we told you we were going to go.
It's okay. I've enjoyed myself.
It's been electric. We had Chris Paul on the program. We've got BDAHT cracking
Yeah,
us up.
see?
I need to pee. I've been laughing so
See?
hard.
Me too. Yeah.
So we're gonna.
I've actually got
slide
one-
a question,
I've
but
got
we're
one
gonna
more
do
thing.
an in-interview selfie as well. So,
So,
everybody, battle radio. Everybody smile. There we go. All right, continue.
So, the FFCS.
Yes.
Freestyle Funny Comedy Show.
Yes.
What? Tell me about it. I want to plug that a little bit.
Bet that. The Freestyle Funny Comedy Show is me, Drankins, Brand, and Darren Brand and Chico Bean. And it's four guys. We have our writer with us, 50, and he gives us a lot of content, a lot of games. But the show is basically a 90-minute show that's stand-up and improv. Each comic does about 10 minutes of stand-up, but in between the stand-up, we do improv games. So we play different games, like not let me holler type games. It's not those type improv games. We would play games like changing stations, where we might do different TV shows that's coming on and just act them out, or sound effects where we're acting out a scene and you're doing the sound effects for the scene.
So you're
or-
like, whose line is it anyway?
yeah,
But way better.
That's exactly what it is. I swear to God, it's like Whose Line Is It Anyway meets In Living Color type vibe. You know what I mean? Plus with Comic View with the stand up vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's real urban. It's real urban. So that really put us right in the vein for Wild 'N Out. Like we've been doing Freestyle Funny since 2009. So it's 8 years now. You know what I mean? So like we didn't even know that we were honing skills that would be conducive with the show Wild 'N Out. You know what I'm saying? So when they brought Wild 'N Out back and we went and auditioned for that, it was like, yo, this is just like FFCS. So that's why like we were doing songs and all kinds of stuff, making up different parodies and stuff. So it just fit right in that lane. So it's not really that bit of a coincidence that the guys they excel so well on that show.
And for anybody in the area listening, where's your next few shows gonna be?
I'm actually working on it, man. Like you can find me on all my social media, man. Like right now, like I'm really heavy in the trap aerobics. I'm really heavy in the speed dieting. Drankins and I are about to do
does
the
too much.
I mean, I'm just
Your
working,
plate's
bro.
way too
I don't
full.
know
3
if you
live
sleep,
crew.
honestly.
I got Swarm coming up soon. Drankins and I are about to be doing this D's 2 show, like just me and him, just doing these pop-up comedy shows. We're gonna hit up High Point in Burlington and Winston and Roanoke, Virginia, in the listening area type joint. So we're just working, man. Just trying to brand and get followers up and cash out on these bags.
Okay.
Well, if you know nothing about this guy, now you do. That was an electric interview. BDAHT,
I appreciate you guys.
BDAHT is how you spell dot.
Yeah, well, it's an acronym. Yes, an acronym, BDAHT. It's an acronym for Big Dick and Hairy Testicles.
Is that accurate?
I'm so uncomfortable.
Well, actually, no, it's not accurate because
I was like-
well, it's not accurate.
was
It's not accurate because I went and just got shaved, so it's Big Dick and hairless testicles.
I'm a
Yeah,
big boy now.
Huge. It gives you like 3 inches when you shave down there, guys.
I'm a BDAHT now. Okay, that's all we got.
Yeah.
BDAHT, thanks so much for jumping
Thanks
on
for
the
having me,
bandwagon,
man.
All right,
Big
man.
shout out to the bandwagon.
We are back. Thanks again to BDAHT for that fantastic interview. Shout out to Chris Paul for the surprise cameo.
I'm a little upset he didn't want to grill Steph Curry. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, me too. They must be buds. But that happened. So anyway, let's
the NBA is soft nowadays.
The NBA is soft. Super teams take over everything. Chris Paul is going to State Farm commercials instead of training.
Yeah. Michael Jordan would never do State Farm commercials.
Yeah, hot take.
That's a fact. Hot take.
Real facts only,
right.
brought to you by Victor Hensley.
Follow me on Twitter at Freezeel33, Frezeell 33 on Twitter.
Do you screw that up every time?
I did it on purpose. That was purposeful.
Oh, okay. You're terrible.
So, it's time for our favorite segment. My favorite segment. I don't know what your favorite segment is, nor do I really care what your favorite segment is. I don't care about your opinions. My favorite segment is the great, the beautiful, You Ask, We Answer. That's where we go to. Where do we go?
The epitome of knowledge.
Which is Yahoo Answers. And since we believe we're intellectually superior to everyone else, we decide we're going to answer your questions for you. Because really, our answers are the only ones that matter. Let's be real.
Real facts only.
Real facts only, brought to you by Victor Hensley, Frezeell 33. So, first question.
Here we go.
What are you afraid of?
I was trying to think of something I was afraid of that would be funny, but I failed. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm not afraid of heights. Actually, I kind of am afraid of heights. I take that back. Were you uncomfortable? We did that interview with David Shoemate atop the Duke football stadium. We were looking down. Were you kind of nervous up there? I was kind of nervous.
Not at all. We were on flat ground. I was fine. I'm not a big heights guy.
Nor am I. But I will do anything that involves heights. That's the thing. Like, yeah. I will do roller coasters that you have to climb 300 stories for. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge heights guy.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, the only time I'm really afraid of heights is if it's like I'm at the edge of something and it's obvious I could very well fall and die. That's the only time I'm like, I don't really want to be here. But other than that, I'm good.
So what are you afraid of?
I have found out, I don't know if I've told you this or whatever, I am actually deathly afraid of water.
What?
So I was playing a video game one time, right? And it was some video game where it was supposed to be really nice and like supposed to be really tranquil, right? And it was a game where it was like, you know what, the game wasn't really much, but you were in the ocean and you were swimming with fishes and stuff. And it was supposed to be like this peaceful game that you play and like it makes you happy or whatever. So I was playing it and I started to feel really physically upset because I'm in the water. I'm like deep in the ocean, and I started to feel really upset. So then I played another video game like a few weeks later, and I jumped. My character jumped into a big pool, like a well. It was a well with water at the bottom, right? And it was like dark black water, like you couldn't see under. And even though I knew nothing was in there and nothing was going to pop out, it freaked me out. I had to turn the game off because it made me anxious. I didn't like it.
That's cool.
I've learned, over the last few months, I have learned I am deathly afraid of like water that you can't see under.
I like it.
If I couldn't go to a lake and like actually swim in the lake because I'm upset that something's under me and it will probably kill me.
I'm upset.
That may be uncomfortable. So there you go. That's my little thing I'm afraid of.
I like it.
Next up, what is the first thing you will do after winning the lottery?
So I played Mega Millions last week or 2 weeks ago whenever the jackpot was huge. I didn't even get a single number right. I was upset. But anyway, what is the one thing I would do? I would buy I don't know.
That's a really wise answer.
The very first thing I would do. This is tough. I didn't think about this enough. I would buy I would buy a company probably.
You'd buy a company.
Yeah, I'd buy like what's a small enough company I could afford with a lot of money? I'd buy a sports team. That's what I'd do.
That's billions of dollars.
Yeah, you're right. How much am I winning? We didn't go over this.
I mean, it's gonna be under $1 billion for sure. It's not gonna get. I mean, I would say like 500 million, maybe.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
If we're going big jackpot.
I would buy a state. No, I'd buy a city, a town.
A town. I'm down with that.
I'd buy the rights to a town. Is that possible? Can you do that?
Yeah, sure. Probably not,
sure.
but sure.
I like it.
What I would love to do is, and what I always said when I was a kid is, I always wanted to have a home, and then in the complex where the home is, I just buy every single sports arena. I would buy a hockey rink, a basketball court. Like, that's all I cared about. I wanted a football stadium, a field hockey field. Like, it was just like, I just have like a whole sports complex. I wouldn't do anything with them, but it's just like, hey, you want to go shoot some goals in the hockey net? Is that what you call it?
Shoot some goals in the hockey net.
So that's what I always wanted to do. I probably... Say that again?
I just said shoot some goals in a hockey net. I like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I don't know if that's what I would do now, but that's what I always wanted to do when I was a kid.
I like it.
By the way, the person that got the best answer on this question, which is our answers were way better than this one, like they always are. This person said they're going to donate half of it. Are they really though?
No, they're not.
Like, what are the odds that they actually donate half their money? Like, come on.
Did they say who they donate it to?
No, but I'm sure it's nobody. I'm sure it's the children's hospital or something, just to make themselves look good. Like, go home. Anyway, next up, what age is someone no longer young?
This is cool. I like that we have this question. I had this conversation with my mom yesterday because she was talking about how she'll probably retire within 5 years. Or 3 years, actually. 3 years. I was like, oh my...
Your mother?
Yeah. She said, once you're out of college...
What are you talking about?
My mom is 51 years old. She wants to be done when she's 54.
51.
She is 51. And she said, yeah, she's out in 3 to 5 years. I was like, Mom, that means you're getting old. So the question is, when you're no longer young?
Yes.
For that question, I'd say 25-ish. 22, 25. But you're
no longer young?
Right. Like, I would say you are officially a man or a woman at that point, 25. But you're old. So I want to take this conversation a different direction. When do you become old? When is old an appropriate label for you? I'd say like 55 to 60. And I'm not adding a negative connotation with that. I'm just saying, when do you actually become old?
I feel like, to me, it's got to be just retirement age. That's
okay. See, yeah, I'm with you. So 55, 60-ish.
If someone's 80 and doesn't retire, they're still old.
Right. So like 60.
There's people that are 80 and still work.
60?
Yeah, 60, 61, 62, 65, something like that, I guess would be old. Yeah, because I feel like if you're 50, I mean, you can still look young, I mean, even 60-something, you still look young.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's tough. Next up.
I'm still a
is
60.
Ice Cube dead?
60. The Big Three is more relevant than it's ever been under the direction of Ice Cube. He is well alive, folks.
He is well alive. Power 5-1. Yeah, Ice Cube's not dead. Come on.
Tri-State 4-2. 4-2. Tri-State.
There's a chance they might still not make the playoffs. Your thoughts?
They will. They're gonna win it all.
Okay. Next up, should I be mad at myself? I was born at 24 weeks gestation and survived. I wanted to know if I could do professional kickboxing and become a pro kickboxer. If anyone was born before 30 weeks gestation, can you guys help me out? So should I be mad at myself for not being born on my due date?
I'm confused. This was poorly written. So they're not allowed to be a kickboxer now?
Written. Well, the best answer said, why wouldn't you be able to? So I think this person's saying that if you weren't born on your due date, you can't be a kickboxer. Which I don't know the rules on that, but I'm pretty sure it's inaccurate.
Then yeah, I'd be mad at yourself. You were too eager to come out of the womb. From the womb to the tomb, you're going to be mad at yourself.
Yeah, you weren't. You just. Exactly. Like, from the womb to the tomb, like, you came out, right? And you didn't take the time to develop like the rest of us. Like, me and you, I don't know when I was born, actually. I could have been 13 months before my due date. I have no idea. I'm going to assume I was close to time, though.
Hold on. 13 months before your due date? You weren't even a thought at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you trying to say I was an accident?
Yes, you were.
there's a good chance.
Have you ever
So
asked?
I mean, I don't want to know.
That's fair.
Because haven't you seen in like movies and stuff when the little girl asks or finds out that she was an accident and she like gets all upset?
I don't blame her.
Like, haven't you heard that before?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I feel like if I actually know the answer to that question, I'm gonna cry, and I don't want to cry. None of us wanna cry.
Crying is no good. You're right. You win.
You're right. I am right. Next up, is Kim Kardashian's butt deformed, or is it just oversized implants?
Oh boy. So the answer is oversized implants, but do you remember when she was on that cover where there was the towel underneath her butt and it was on the front of the magazine cover?
Paper? Was that the magazine? Potentially?
I don't know. I don't have it next to me.
I do. I have it. Actually, have it on my wall. So yeah, I think it's called
Nice.
Paper. Continue.
I reenacted that photo once, and I realized how large her behind was.
In what realm did you think it was a good idea to reenact that photo? How did that
Well,
situation even come about?
It's a long story that I don't want to.
Did you just say? Hey man, I want to take this picture. Somebody photograph me. Is that what happened?
I was toweling myself off after a warm, long shower, and I had my towel washing off the back of my legs, and I thought, my hairy ass probably looks better than Kim Kardashian's. So the picture work was taken.
I'm gonna go ahead and say probably not. Actually, you did show me the picture while you were here.
Yeah. Yes.
And I felt uncomfortable. But I will say that it looked better than Kim
understand.
Kardashian. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
of course. Final question for Yawa today. Is Taylor Swift the reason for all her breakups?
The answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah.
She probably dates and then breaks up with guys she doesn't even like just so she can write a hit song. Your thoughts?
Not only just a hit song, a hit album.
Right.
I mean,
You're on.
It's
You're on to
100% her. And I don't think she does it because she's manipulative or anything like that, or she doesn't like them. I think she literally just does it for the motivation for songs. I really do.
For the fortune and the fame. For the fortune
You know
and the
what I'm
fame.
saying? I think she intentionally makes her relationships terrible so she'll have material. That's a hot take.
I like it.
From both of us.
That's not a hot take whatsoever. You're wrong. That's not a hot
It
take.
actually is, and I think everybody in America knows that. There are a couple big Taylor Swift stands out there, but even they
Stands.
might agree with us at this point. I'm not sure.
Still have yet to hear that word
mentioned that on the
outside
show.
of the one time you brought it up.
You've never heard that?
No, not once.
I see it on Twitter at least 3 times a day. I see it on Twitter.
Never see it.
You're just not a big Twitter guy, apparently.
I am a big Twitter
get your
guy.
Twitter
I just don't
game
see
up.
stands. Maybe I just don't look for it. I don't know.
Biatch.
Biatch.
Yeah, because I seek it out. That's what's going on.
So let's move on to Bandwagon. I want you to go first.
Okay, that was bold for you to say. All right. Well, I foreshadowed earlier in the show that I would be speaking about Adam Jones, the Orioles center fielder, later on in the show, and that point has come. So the story is that Adam Jones was going to be traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, most likely. But the thing is he has what is called a 10-5 clause, which, if you don't know what that is, I believe it is that if a veteran is in the league for at least 10 years, that's where the 10 part comes from, and then 5 is they've spent the previous 5 years with the same club, which Adam Jones has. Then they earn a 10-5 clause, which is essentially a no trade clause. So they have to approve any trade that they're going to be involved in with that club. So Adam Jones was going to be sent to the Philadelphia Phillies. So the Orioles, had this deal in place, I believe, and then Adam Jones said, "Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna stay right here. That's cool with
I
y'all."
like it.
So
I like it.
Adam Jones, whom I love, I know there's some fans that are upset because maybe they could have gotten some prospects from the Phillies for him and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I'm happy for the guy. I'm jumping on the bandwagon of standing your ground because he stood his ground. He didn't let the team take advantage of him, and he's like, I don't really care what you guys think. I'm probably going to leave after this year. Why would I want to help you guys out? I'm happy. I'm happy right where I am. My family's here. We're having a good time. I don't care what you want from me. And he's ballsy. He's bold. He's Adam Jones, man. He's unlike any other in professional sports, in my opinion.
He's got some
Personality of that guy is
stones.
unreal.
He's got some stones to stand his ground. I like it. I like that clause. Didn't know that existed. It's a thing.
I didn't know
that
it existed either. I think every sport should have that. Honestly,
I'm with
I think
you.
Every league should have that.
I'm with you. So the bandwagon I'm jumping on is answers emerge. We talked about the NFL preseason earlier in the show and the random players we see. But there's also a lot of players we forget maybe existed or still played, and we didn't know what team they were with. So I'm going to test your knowledge because I was just skimming through some rosters and didn't realize a couple players were on teams, so I want to see if you knew they were.
Okay, I like it.
So I have 2 quarterbacks, a linebacker, and a running back. Which one do you want first?
I want the linebacker.
Okay, so Super Bowl 48 MVP Malcolm Smith. Do you know where he's playing?
Oakland Raiders.
San Francisco 49ers.
Dang it. I knew he went there. He went to California. Dang it. So close.
Quarterbacks or
with the Raiders.
Yes, he is. That was going to be one of my other ones, but I didn't throw him on here. Quarterbacks or running back next?
Give me one quarterback.
Okay. Let's go with Joe Webb, the athletic, dynamic quarterback that has made the Wildcat popular around him. Where's he playing?
Buffalo.
Houston Texans.
Dang it. He was in Buffalo last season, I think. Dang it.
I think so, too.
So close.
All right, we'll go to the running back.
Quarterback.
Okay, the other quarterback.
Yeah, running back.
Okay,
No,
I think you're going to get this one. You're going to get this one with the running back.
Can I go ahead and guess who it is?
Yes.
It's going to be Jamal Charles, isn't it?
It's not going to be Jamal Charles. Where's he at?
Oh. Denver? Unless I don't know. He might be a free agent. I think he's a free agent, actually.
I don't know where he is. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure.
my question is C.J. Anderson, formerly of the Denver Broncos.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, I feel like I know this. Carolina Panthers.
You got it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
That's a good move for him if he can be good because they don't have Jonathan Stewart anymore. I don't believe he's in New York.
Yeah,
maybe.
I didn't know where C.J. Anderson was, so that was surprising to me. My final one for you is Blaine Gabbert.
Oh God, who even? It's not the 49ers. It's.
Nope.
I'm just gonna throw a name out there. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Not quite. Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
So there you go. So you went 1 for 4, which was not bad. Better than I would have done.
It's not bad.
It's better than I would have done.
Probably.
I'll tell you that. So well done. So now we know. There's going to be many others that I didn't bring up, but craziness in the NFL. So the NFL preseason brings us answers and questions that will remain to be seen throughout this 4-week period that we see teams taking the field, preparing for the upcoming season. For the Bandwagon, I'm Alex Strofe. Thanks again to BDAHT for joining us today. Until next time.
Until next time.
What up, Miss C? It's your boy V Hen. You knew I'd have to come at him again. 2018. 4 years later. Change the style up a little bit. One day I was walking down the street. I was really thirsty, so I walked a piece, had a big glass of water. Then I had to pee, so I ran all the way home. Then I opened up the door. I ran straight to the party. My bladder couldn't hold it anymore. I lifted up the seat, and then I began to pee. It went from the kidneys to the ureter, down to the bladder, where it all matters, then through the urethra, where I'll have to release you out the urinary means, then it exited my penis. Then it exited my penis. Later on that night, I had a pain that I couldn't fight. I was dizzy and I had to throw up, and my temperature was as high as you know what. I couldn't take it anymore, so I had to go to the doctor. I got checked out. Yeah, boy, was about to pass out. Then the doctor came in to give me my diagnosis. Last night I was up until 10, worrying about this prognosis. He said, well, Houston, we have a problem. I said, whatever it is, Doc, we're gonna solve it.
Tomorrow's production available in today's morning.
I'm about to put down this microphone. I'm about to put down this microphone. It was a kidney stone. It was a kidney stone. It was a kidney stone. And we out. Drive safe. Thank all. It was a kidney